Hello viewers, in this video I'm going to talk about some of my struggles with possums. As you can see in this photo, I have a lovely oak tree in my back garden, which is actually rather special to me because my father picked the acorn from which it grew 45 years ago, put it in a pot. 40 years ago when I bought this house I planted it in the ground, and so now we're looking at a 45-year-old tree which I've known from the beginnings. It's rather special. So for the first 30 odd years it just grew and it did what it needed to do and everybody was happy. 10 years ago possums moved in, and boy did they move in. These little fellas are voracious feeders, and in the first year that they moved in I didn't actually know what was going on, but the tree was very late coming into leaf, and I finally worked out just in time what was going on. Possums had moved in and were cleaning all the new buds off before it had a chance to do anything. They very nearly killed the tree. So this started an ongoing battle between me and the possums to keep them out of the tree when it is deciduous and it gets its new leaves every year, obviously around this time, August, the first week of September. And so the battle is to keep them out of the tree until it's managed to get enough of its canopy established that they can't really do it any harm, because once it's fully in leaf then there's no danger. And I've put a whole lot of possum protection measures in place which I'll talk about, which thankfully have proved successful. Well, they were successful up until last night. Obviously a rethink is now required. So this is having a look at where that possum did his heroic leap. Sorry about all the background noise. As you can see, I've got bird spikes all the way along the edge of the shed. It's a bit hard to see the relative height and jump out, but that leap was a good 1.5 meters up and over. This is the other attack vector. They get onto the roof of the shade house there, and I have to make sure there's a clear 2 meters, because that's how far they can jump horizontally, and they can go a good meter straight up, so it takes quite a bit of clearance to make sure they can't get in. And this is another opportunity along the fence, so I'll put the spikes there to stop them doing that. And then they like getting in from the shed, so that's another one. I've got to keep the tree cut back from that. And this is another area where I'm worried that they'll be able to get in. Eternal vigilance. So I put in a camera so I could observe what the possums were up to, because otherwise I would never have known where they were getting into the tree. Yeah, we often have mum and an offspring hanging around. It's interesting actually, mum looks after the offspring for quite a long time. I don't know how old the offspring is when it's forced to go off on its own, but you can see them riding around a mum's back for a long time. So as you can see, these fellas are casing the joint pretty seriously. They're quite keen to get into the tree. These clips are running at 4 times normal speed. They don't actually move that fast, of course, but this fella here, he is really becoming quite determined to get in. And in the past years, I've had them, different ones, muscle up and actually bend those spikes out of the way. I don't know what gauge they are, but they're stainless steel wire, and they actually take quite a bit of effort to bend, but it doesn't seem to stop a really determined one. But fortunately, the period that I have to worry about is only really a couple of weeks, because as soon as the tree's got most of its canopy, then they really can't harm it, and they lose interest anyway. Yeah, this guy's getting really serious now. No, he's working his way up to it. A couple of trial runs and thinking about it. Oh, push the wire maybe. No, that's not working. No, I'm just going to have to go for it. And once he was in there, I haven't kept a whole lot of video of that going, but he was in seventh heaven up in that tree. He was running around, snacking all over the place. And I've no doubt that tonight he'll be back, expecting that he can just jump in exactly the same place. Well, he'll have a bit of a surprise there, because of course I've been out there with the pruning shears today and cut back all the areas where I think he could possibly get in. So we'll see. So it was round 1 perhaps to the possum. I'm hoping to win round 2. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll put another quick video together perhaps tomorrow to show whether or not my additional pruning was sufficient to keep the little darlings out of my favourite tree.